Alright, y'all. First video of the new year. Halfway through the month. Still working on my Halloween script. So that's what all I've been focusing on. Zeezzy the King. Like and subscribe. Add me on Facebook, Zach King. Now I got a special one for y'all today. We coming out with the 1980s version of Mother's Day. Written and directed by Charles Kaufman. Now, this movie really didn't have too much of a real big box office or budget. It had a budget of $115,000, and it flopped commercially and critically. And I'm gonna get to the reason why, but I couldn't find an actual an actual box office. I'm thinking this maybe was a direct to DVD because it was banned in so many different areas and places. And this movie is located in the deep borough wilderness of New Jersey woods. Great backdraft to the movie. Great setting to the movie. And it has a nice cast. This has a cast of Beatrice Pons as the mother of the Mother's Day clan. It got Michael McCleary as Adelie. It got Frederick Coffin as Ike. I'm going to get to them in a minute. We got Tiana Pierce as Trini. We got Nancy Henderson as Abby and Deborah Luce as Jackie. This movie is it's basically, it gives you a Last House on the Left, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of feel, Hills Have Eyes type of feel, and these women are, nice college women. I know Jackie is from New York. That's why they in New Jersey where she planned the girls trip in the woods. Then we got Abby from Chicago, and you see her little minor backstory where she's taking care of her elderly mother before she goes on a camping trip with her friends. You know what I'm saying? They all are, for the era, they are, to me, very independent, very mature. They can fix cars. They know how to fish. They not dependent on a guy. That wasn't a spotlight of the movie, but it was something that's normal nowadays with the woman empowerment. But in this era, it was different, and they was ahead of the curve, and I appreciate that. And the movie kicks off as the mother character is like the lead actress in the entire movie. She has some kind of like young 20s, you know what I'm saying? It's like this, you know what I'm saying, good spokesman type of guy. He doing a seminar on self-improvement, how to get yourself out of a bad situation, motivational speaker type of guy. So after the end of that, she talking to her friends who there. She's an elderly grandmotherly type of figure, and she's just at this class with these 20-year-olds at this self-empowerment motivational speech. So when the speech is over, she talking to them. They like, yeah, we got to catch a train 20 miles. We got to go now because we got to catch a train 20 minutes to walk there, and then it's a long draft, and they don't want to miss it, or it's going to be an even longer wait. So the grandma is basically saying, don't worry about that, I'll drop y'all off. This is like the first 15 minutes of the movie, actually. So the grandma, I'm saying grandma because she's a grandma elderly figure of that age, but as she driving, they like, while we driving through the woods, she like, I live in this area and I know the woods is a shortcut for where y'all going anyway to the main city. So you see the two people in the car, it's just like, you know what I'm saying, bad boy 80s looking guy. He in the back seat and his girlfriend in the front seat talking to the driver, which is Mother. That's her name, by the way. So you see he got like his little murder kit. He pulling out a rope, tying it in knots as if, so they finna kidnap this lady and take her car. Now you see the girlfriend in the front seat. She know what the play is, but she talking nice, playing along with the lady. So the lady driving her car get the pup sputtering. She gets out the car. You would think the guy would get out and help her, be a gentleman or make his move, one or the other. But he's sitting in the back seat, continuing to tie his rope, getting ready for the move they finna make. That's when the mother goes under the hood. She fixing her car. That's when her sons come out of the woods, decapitates the guy. And for a 1980s film, the decapitation was very brilliant. It looked good. It was nice. And that's when you see Ike and Adelie come after they slice his head off. They snatch the chick out of the car, and you see the mother is actually smiling. Now, Adelie and Ike are mother's sons. They are basically a hillbilly inbred type of family. The thing is, they live in New Jersey woods, so it's not southern inbred. They don't really look too. You could tell they trying hard with the. Ike got some dentures, fake teeth that's all rotted and nasty looking. He got his hair dyed like a sandy red. Adderley looked normal. He wear a creepy little vest type of mask, but when he take the mask off, he looked like a normal guy. They try hard to dirty the characters up and make them look hillbilly inbred, but personally it didn't work for me because they look too normal, unlike the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Hills Have Eyes, where they are genetically deformed from the toxins they've been breathing in through the sure no you know what happened in that movie. You know what I'm saying? They look deformed, just like the wrong turn for cannibals. They look deformed, where these dudes look like it's just minor makeup and little dentures, but you buy it because the movie breaks down instantly when they kill the guy, like I just said, and decapitate him with the axe. They get to slapping the girl around, you know what I'm saying? And the mother is like, stop it. Like she ain't for it until she get her inevitable reveal that she's the leader of the family. She gets like a like a I don't know what them things called. It's like a gear net where she wraps it around the girl's neck and she's squeezing it slowly, and you see the little blood gushing out her neck, and she just tightening the girl until she kills her. That's when you get to the protagonist. Excuse me. That's when you get to the protagonist characters, where it's Jackie, Abby, and Trina. They all basically are getting they camping stuff. So they go to the store and they getting like drinks and, you know what I'm saying, matches and stuff for the fire and wood and stuff from the local place before they get to the place. The woods. That's when this creepy guy in the store is telling them don't go there. It's always one of them red herring moments where he like, don't go there. I wouldn't go there if I was y'all. The name of the place is, let me look at it again. It's Dead Baron's Wilderness. It sound creepy. So as he give them the little warning, they still, you know what I'm saying, they think he's the crazy man. They go there, they set their woods up, they get their campers all set up. They talking about, reminiscing about days in the past with ex-boyfriends or whatnot. They got their marshmallows fired up, they catch a fish, they get their food, everything straight. That's when the mother's sons, Ike and Adelie, come out. They tie they sleeping bags over their heads and wrap them up, and they just basically kidnap the three women. And this is when the movie to me takes a turn for the worse, in my opinion, because the first night the mother is sitting there talking to the guys like, we got the women, you know what I'm saying? They tie them into, they got like a aerobics room where they work out in. They tie them down into the machines and some of the workout equipment, and they take one of the particular girls where it's gonna be like some kind of sick show. Like it remind me a little bit of Rob Zombie's The House of a Thousand Corpses, how Baby and them put on a show before they started killing the people. But this show was way less entertaining to me than Baby and how they show went, because you see they make her dress up as like a Alice in the Wonderland character and like run, like be a victim, and they just tackle her. They ain't like it they in like a barn. So it's not like it's a big open area, but they telling her to run as if she's trying to get away from them, and they tackle her down. And that's when Adelie's character sexually assaults Jackie, and I just thought it wasn't necessary, to be honest. The torturing and beating of these girls is part of the movie, and I get it, but some of the abuse to the women just wasn't necessary. It took it to a level that was disgusting, to be honest. So after that night happens, they ask their mom, "Can we keep Jackie the rest of the night?" The mom like, "Yeah, just don't wake up in the morning too tired. I don't want to hear no excuses." So it's just like you know what the hell they did to this lady all night, and it just wasn't necessary to have in the movie. Then we get to the next day. The other two girls are upstairs. They watching all of this happen from the previous night. They in like an attic, so they watch everything that happens through the attic's window because they down there performing all of these disgusting acts. So they kind of know what's next for them the next day when the guys come up. So the two, you know what I'm saying, inbred guys wake up, they morning routine, they brushing their teeth with beer as the water and, you know what I'm saying, toothpaste and just eating tricks and cereal, getting ready. The mom gives them a workout montage where they basically is practicing their kidnapping skills. They stabbing dummies. They, you know what I'm saying, army crawling through the forest. You know what I'm saying, all the stuff that kidnappers would practice, I guess. It's a nice, cool montage to show you how they state of mind and how they mom got them trained. But at the same time, it's kind of goofy. You don't really take it too serious. And as this happened and the girls end up breaking themselves free, and she puts her friend in a sleeping bag and like on some like some yarn, not yarn, but strong rope, and trying to lower her down to, you know what I'm saying, get free. It's a nice little plan, but the guys interrupted because they ended up chasing each other. Because after they montage of working out and exercising, they got to fight each other, and all this stuff is that they mom got a pad and paper, and she just jotting down their scores as they doing it. So when they creeping around the house trying to find each other to fight each other as part of their practice, the girl got to hold the rope up so her friend don't be noticed in the body bag that she lowering down to let them both breathe free. This was the most intense part of the movie to me because the makeup, her hands was cutting from the wires going through it, the yarn and the rope, how she had to hold her. It just was, it was a gruesome scene in my opinion, but it was great. So after the fellas walk off and start catching up to each other and start wrestling and fighting, she lowers her down. The girl gets out. She comes in the house and frees her because they locked in the door. So now they fully free. Then we get to a final fight. It's some points in the movie where they're talking about they auntie Queenie. She is like a survivalist monster boogie woman of the family. Where even mother is like, I saw Queenie. And you never see Queenie throughout the movie, but you hear exposition from the sons and the mother about her. Like, I never seen her. Grandma said this about her. Grandma said she killed 4 bears and with her bare hands. Just it's extravagant stories they're telling about Queenie, which is they auntie. I'm assuming the whole family is crazy, inbred, Leatherface ish. And I bring Queenie up because she has a final act at the end of the movie. So as the girls finally escape, they start getting they comeuppance with the family. When it comes to Adley, they get a hook hammer and stick him in the crotch, and he bleeding out so bad. And I was so happy that they got they comeuppance because these dudes ain't like Leatherface or, you know what I'm saying, normal slashers. It's harder to make a slasher out of a human who also indulges in sexual assault. That's why it's no way we can root for them. So as they slash his slash zone up, so to speak, the girls become on some vicious shit, you know what I'm saying? Because Jackie succumbs to her injuries after the night she had. They found her in a drawer. They some real army women, like, never leave a man behind. Because when they first escaped, they traveling through the woods. Both of the females are carrying Jackie along. Once they realize it's too much of carrying her through the woods up hills, they lay her down and she succumbed to her injuries. One of the chicks, I think it was Trina, she runs to the car and realizes the guys messed it up. So now they realize we gotta fight our way out of this. When they head back to the house, you know what I'm saying, that's when they killed Adley, when they castrated him and they choked him out to death on his own blood. Now Ike was a little more harder to kill because he was a bigger guy and he was a little more inbredish, and that's how it's played up to be. So they get they Sidney Prescott moment where they bash his head with the TV. But instead of dying like Stu, it was electrocuting him, and I guess his hillbilly inbred power kept him alive. So they get the meat slicer and get the jab at him and kill him. That was a nice comeuppance. Now we come to Mother. She's in the attic. Now she want to become some kind of old lady, I'm innocent victim. She like, I'm an old lady. What are you gonna do to me? They on some real psycho Rambo shit. They got they little scarves and bandanas wrapped around their head. They basically tell her, we finna take care of you, Mother. They psychotic in their mind from what they been through. So they get on the wall, they see it's like a blow up doll of breasts. So they picked the blow up doll, put it over her face, and smother her to death. And then it's like happy ending in a way, except for Jackie is dead. So as they trekking out of the house, it's a couple minor parts that I didn't mention, like when they was trying to first escape, he came dressed as a police officer, Ike, and they had a little fight there before they made it back to the house. But I just mentioned it and I didn't even have to. The point I'm making is they finally exiting the whole premises. I'm assuming they going to get the police car that Ike was driving earlier and drive out of this little forest area to the main roads. However this happens, that's when Queenie gets the final jump square of the movie that we've been hearing about throughout the movie. She jumps over the bush looking mean and ferocious like a monster type of situation. That could have been sequel bait or whatever you want to call it, but that's how the movie ends, on like a yellow screen, screeching sound. It was nice. Only thing I was thinking is, what the hell was my mom doing letting me watch these kind of movies when I was young? Because I remember all of these horror obscure movies I don't watch that's not household names. I remember watching them before I was a teenager, preteen, 9, 7. These movies came out in the 80s. So like by 88, 89, I'm 8, 9 years old. That's when they probably on network television for a Friday, Saturday night scare type of movie. I remember watching these kind of movies with her, and she didn't give a damn about letting me watch PG-13 rated R movies way before I was eligible. But I assume my mom was thinking the shit he's seeing outside is reality. People getting shot, drug dealers, drug addicts. So this just a movie that's fictional. That'd be my only defense, because some of these movies I done seen as a kid was despicable. But overall, this is the original's Mother's Day from 1980. I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 10. It could have been a 6 without the sexual assault and just the, like, even Last House on the Left had those kind of scenes in it, but it felt like better done. This felt a little distasteful with some of the way they slapping the women and beating them and snatching their panties off. Just the aggression and crime towards women was sort of distasteful to me, which makes this a 4 and not a 6. The art is the art. We get it. Real life way worse than movies. But the way they was treating these women was just a little distasteful for my taste personally. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. And that's what you have it. Mother's Day. Zeezzy the King. Like and subscribe. Add me on Facebook social media site. And I'm out. Your favorite horror channel, Horror Channel.